Drawing, you are fake. Everyone knows.
There you go. Now, thank you for responding, Gyro. There you go.
We're the ones that are fake.
Yeah, you're right. Says the Peking wok owner. Allegedly.
And good evening. It is the Group Chat Podcast. We are live here on this June the 4th. Crazy to think that we're already in the month of June. I am Casey Gisclair. He is Jacob Gyro. He is Damian St. Pierre. We are going to be chatting with you guys today about all sorts of topics in the world of sports. We are going to recap the LSU baseball weekend. Whew, I whiffed on that. I thought that it was over after game one with Little Rock. Little Rock had other plans, but LSU is moving on. We'll talk about that. Talk a little boxing. We'll talk about summer basketball. I'm going to get Damian's thoughts on a young 8th, soon-to-be 9th grader getting a scholarship offer from Nicholls State University yesterday. Zion Williamson's going to be a Pelican. Joe Dumars confirmed that today. He also confirmed that Willie Green will be the coach next season. NBA Finals predictions, Tom Thibodaux getting fired, and the Magic breaking out some swagadelic new uniforms that are really legit.
Today is fantastic. First off, I'm 99% sure that we have the phones working. Second, we got a new backdrop courtesy of our sponsor at DTB. We got Livvy Dunn in the house, courtesy of Peyton Hebert at Rouse's. Shout out Peyton.
Peyton that got us that? I didn't realize that.
Jam-packed show. We got some different stuff coming at you. And tonight is going to be an absolute blast. Jump in the chat if you want to interact.
Yeah, there you go. We will announce some shenanigans in our cash contest. We've got a lot of robots that are apparently big fans of us. We appreciate your support.
Last night, the crew and I got together and worked on our template for our website. If you go to groupchatpodcastdtb.com, you're going to see a breakdown of all of our content, Facebook content, all of our YouTube content, all of our TikTok content, as well as some other stupid stuff. There's awesome team introductions. There's a whole slew of stuff to keep you occupied. But that's where we're going to start linking a lot of our stuff to. We're going to start driving some traffic there in hopes to keep on rolling, keep on doing what we're doing.
Absolutely. No overrated, underrated today. We are doing Would You Rather, which is a whole lot of fun, and we got some really good stuff. Let's recap the boxing weekend. We had Victor Hernandez fighting in New Orleans. Victor was fighting a journeyman, a 40-plus-year-old Brazilian who had some losses, but we said, hey, this is a guy who's got some rounds with some very good competition. And we said, yeah, Victor's probably going to win, 99.9% going to win. But, want to see him show us a little something. Well, he showed us a little something. He got a first-round knockout, beat the snot out of the dude that he was fighting. Another notch on the belt of Mr. Hernandez is now 14-0, and he's heading into what is going to be a very big fall for him, as he is going to be fighting in Nashville coming up in August. The one thing that stands out to me about Nashville, though, Damian, 10 rounds. I don't know if we've ever seen Victor in a 10-round fight. Leads me to believe it might be a pretty big fish coming in and taking him on.
Shout out Woosai Johnson back on the card in Nashville. So that leads me to believe what that may look like.
See, I hope I'm not the one fighting Woosai Johnson in that card after the things that I said about him on this show.
I mean, if they pay me enough, I may get in there. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, Victor did exactly what he needed to do. He was dominant. He looked bigger. He looked stronger. He looked faster than his opponent, and all things that he should have done. Yep. But a minute, 28 seconds, anytime you get somebody out that quick, that's exactly what you need to be doing. He had a tremendous crowd. I saw multiple Facebook posts of videos and people taking pictures. It's an event. And Metro looked like an awesome venue. They had the LED boards going around the whole ring. They had the music going. It was pretty special. And if you go to Group Chat Podcast DTB, you could see the minute, or actually probably 40 seconds of the fight, because I think that's the only one our correspondent, Du Fonseca, decided to film.
Oh, we're naming him today? We didn't name him on Sunday. We said we were keeping him nameless.
But we didn't have mics on Sunday. No, shout out Dufonso. I appreciate the video clip.
I saw some videos from the fight. Dude, it like they had some seats there. You were almost over the ring with that in those balcony areas. That was
legit.
Yeah, that's a legit setup there. That's a good place to host a venue.
And didn't look like they had many seats to give up either.
No.
It did look
except two, me and Murders, because Tommy didn't invite us.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. Thibodaux showed y'all up pretty big.
But it's our fault.
And look, right now he's not here to defend himself, so it's the perfect time to pounce and bully him whenever he's not here to defend himself. Later on, we do expect to have an appearance from Mr. Tommy Thibodaux. Aldemar Silva was the opponent. 1 minute and 17 seconds. He got him out of there. Aldemar Silva is a guy who's been getting kicked around a little bit, but in his previous fight, it's a couple months prior, he took on a 13-0 prospect, went the distance. Before that, he took on a 10-0 prospect, lost, but it was 2 minutes and 27 seconds in. What I'm getting at is Victor got him out of there pretty much quicker than anybody else has, which I think is a good sign. Damian, how impressive was the level of impressive for Mr. Hernandez?
I think he did exactly what he needed to do at this point in his career against an opponent like that. And anytime you get in the ring, you can't look at records, you can't look at age. You got to just go and get your job done. And he did exactly what he needed to do. He's on the up and up. 14-0 is a very pretty record, and they're looking to build, and they're looking to get something pretty quick in his next fight. As long as he's staying active, it really doesn't matter who he's fighting. The thing in boxing, either you're building your record and you're not getting as much money, or you're taking chances and you're going to make some money. Right now, Victor's in that stage of he's building his record and is exactly where he should be and doing exactly what he needs to do. And as long as he's got his mind focused on the long-term goal of winning I was about to say a national championship, winning a world championship,
winning a natty.
All the right things are happening. So they're just rounding out the other part of the card. Antonio Gates lost a split decision, not the tight end again, to Junior Machado. That was a pretty good scrap from the video clips that I saw. It was 5-0 record for Junior Machado, 3-1 coming in for Antonio Gates. He's been in with a lot of folks. A split decision, 6th round. Sheldon Valentin, Garrett Payton, Devin McKinley, Cody Ziegler, all really, really big favorites. They all took care of business. Sheldon Valentin was in kind of a close one, majority decision, but everybody else took care of business with knockout within the first 2 rounds.
Before we shift topics, what's next? We talked about Nashville coming up. What should we expect to see? Is it going to be another about 500 guy? Is it going to be a guy that's 10-60? What are we expecting to see? Because on one hand, you've told us Nashville's usually the place where it's pretty lopsided fights and one-sided. But the 10-round thing kind of sparks me as, hey, maybe they're bringing in a dude that could challenge him a little bit. So what should we be expecting to see when that card is finally announced?
I'm glad you made that point, because that's something that I really didn't notice, that it was a 10-round. Normally, if you fight in a 10-round fight, it's going to be somebody that's either been 8 or been 10 before or been 12 before. So it's got to be somebody credible. 10 rounds is usually the main event. It's got to be somebody with the north of 500 record. That's my expectation going into that Tennessee fight.
Jacob, you had a chance to watch the fight. Victor did what he needed to do, beat the crap out of that dude.
He looked great, too.
He did.
Mobility, his size, and you got to love all the people that come from down the bayou, support him constantly. And we even saw that whenever we went to Biloxi. It was full of down the bayou people.
Nick, we didn't get a chance to talk with you about this Sunday because you were lounging around the pool. What did you make of Victor's performance on Saturday?
Oh, yeah. Impressive. First round knockout.
Yeah. Early first round knockout.
Yeah.
So now kind of shifting gears a little bit. It's something that's not even in our notes, but it's something that we both saw. So I'm not going to be hitting Damien out of left field here. But I noticed it's something that is no longer on the Facebook page that it was posted on, which is kind of interesting. Jonathan Guidry had posted on social media, hey, bro, like my contract with Don King is done. I'm about to be, free. I want to fight, bare knuckles, boxing, whatever it may be. That is no longer on his Facebook page. Don't know if he just regretted how strongly he worded it. Don't know exactly what that was there. But we do have another local fighter who's big time, and that would be Mr. Guidry. He's fighting at the heavyweight level. What should we expect to see from Jonathan here if indeed his contract with Don King is up? Is he going to do something other than boxing the bare knuckles? If you were advising him, what would you tell him to do? But look, he's a dude who's 21-1-2, just beat Stavern a couple years ago, has been getting, kind of stay busy fights, been knocking the crap out of people. What would be your advice to Jonathan to try to get him to stay busy and stay on the winning track?
I didn't really want to say what's the first thing that came to my mind because I think he's topped out. And I'm just being real. He was born in 89, so that puts him at 35 years old, I believe. That's getting up there in age. Apparently he's had some legal trouble, and he's got to get some fights. Fighting Bobby O'Bannon, not going to help. If you want to fight again at that top level, which he's done and he's competed at. So credit to him. Shout out to him for that, because not many get to do that. Not many get to perform at that level on that stage. A lot of folks get to that stage and crumble, and he didn't. So obviously he's got some talent. He's got some big wins over some named fighters, but he's got to do something now. And calling out Don King, look, I'm in the recruiting business. If you go on social media and you bashing companies, guess what? Other companies see that. And they kind of stay away from that because guess what? You're next to get bashed.
100%.
That's not really what you in business for, is to get bashed.
I think it was Martin who told me this, Martin Verdon, who told me this. I want to say it was Martin, and maybe it was somebody else, but I think Martin told me, like, dude, when my brother is focused and when my brother's in shape, my brother is a world-class fighter.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt.
Last time we saw him, though, he was 287 pounds. If Jonathan wants to get into that winner's circle at the highest level, he's going to have to also take himself a little more seriously, right? Is that fair to say?
You know who else was a world-class fighter when he took himself serious and was in shape? Martin Verdon.
Right.
Martin was a hell of a fighter, but that guy, he liked to not train. He fought on a high level as well. I got the awesome opportunity to manage him for quite some time and developed a good relationship. We had a little falling out, but now I think we're good. If not, I don't know otherwise. It's boxing, man. You got to take your craft serious. If you don't, you're going to get beat up. Even sometimes if you do take it serious, you still get beat up. That's like going play in the LHSA top 28 and then not practicing. Play you 20 games and never practice. Odds are you're not going to win. You got to be prepared, and you got to put in the time to reap the rewards.
Well, we've seen some teams play in the top 20 that look like they haven't practiced. Let's talk about Zane the Train. Because he was fighting in Iowa this weekend. I didn't even realize Zane was still active. I didn't even realize Zane was in America, to be honest. I know he had a run where he went back home in Scotland for a minute, but he was fighting in Iowa this weekend. And we talked about this on Sunday's little pop-up show that we did. He looked good for, I don't know, about 90 seconds, 2 minutes, then just gassed out and just started looking like an NBA player's flopping all over the place, falling out of the ring, and they got beat up. Grover Young beat him in second round KO. Probably shouldn't have got to the end of the second round. Probably should have been stopped before then. It's sad to see him in that state because this is a dude that I know was once very near to Damian and very near to a lot of the people in the Bayou who really looked up to watching him fight.
Physical state or Iowa?
But to see the Train, man, just get beat up by a dude who's 13, 32, and 3, that's not a good look. Not a good look at all.
He's 40 years old. Look, everybody's getting old, me included. What are you weighing in at? 189?
182.
Dude's legit 8 pounds bigger than me right now, which is insane because I knew to do that at 157, 160, and I knew myself at 350. I guess that just a problem that balled up. So he probably didn't train the way that he has. The age got to him. The inactivity probably got to him. And then we talked about this off air. Grover Young was 268 pounds at one time.
Ran into a buzzsaw.
And in the post-fight interview, he's talking about it's the first time in his career that he really takes a fight serious. He's lost 70-plus pounds. And the guy was in tremendous shape. Zane knocked Young down within 45 seconds of the fight and looked like it was going to be just a walkover. You don't get up from that type of shot if you're not serious and you're not in condition and you're not ready to go. Young got up like he just tripped.
Yeah.
And he got tagged.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch our first live from Sunday, if you want to see it at the 53-minute mark, you could see the first round of that fight or portions of the first round of that fight and see exactly what we're talking about.
Well, it looked good. It looked like classic Zane from the first minute. Yeah. Then,
yeah.
He did fly through them like 4 times.
Why was he continuously trying to draw a foul in the ropes? Like, he was trying to shoot free throws. He'd go into the ropes and then, like, flail. And
that's his game. When he gets tired, he goes back to the ropes and just tries to let the
So that's his gimmick?
The ropes were so loose.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't knock you out in the first 2 minutes, he used to be able to go, like, a lot of rounds. But like when he started getting older and out of shape. If he wouldn't knock you out, he would fall back on the ropes and just try to let you throw a bunch of punches, and I don't know, tire yourself out. But once he gets into that situation, it's never a good situation for him. I think he has a feeling that, okay, I'm going to let this guy gas out. I'm going to take a little rest, and then I'm going to come back and finish him off. But it usually doesn't get to that.
It's a shame. Zane and I had some drama. He probably asked you for money at some point because you knew me. But like, I really care for the dude no matter what he does. We spent a lot of time together, and it sucks to see him go down this road. But look, credit to him. Dude's probably spent X amount of time in Iowa, and he was a main event, and he had a freaking fan following. People just gravitate towards him, and everywhere he goes, he's going to have a fan following no matter what. I wish him the best, but, bro, don't get back in the ring. We done.
Yeah. Honestly, I hadn't heard that name since it was probably like 6 or 7, and he was fighting at the Centroplex.
I knew he had been active, and he did some stuff overseas lately, and I know that he had, fought Travis Scott. Not that Travis Scott. In Baton Rouge, which that was a big win for him. Travis Scott was 18-0 at the time.
It's another guy I managed.
All right, when was the last time Zane was under the label? What was the last fight?
Hammock. We annihilated Hammock. You could have brought a hammock to the ring.
So let's assume that the fight at Quest Arena, the big 12-round fight, let's assume Zane wins that fight.
It was close.
I know it was close. Yeah, looking at what would have been next, really? Would he have been fighting the best of the best at 156? Like, what would have been next at that point? I don't know what his record was.
Probably like 18-5 or something, or 18-4 or something like that.
2. It looked like he had 2 losses.
So probably 16-2 or something like that. That would have been big because there were some promoters in the building. We're always looking to get signed. Obviously, I'm not a promoter. I was a manager, so we're always looking to get signed. We probably would not have taken that Anthony Greeley fight because that dude, he has got a backwards record, but he's very...
I say you barely beat him.
Yeah, he's very much a scrappy guy that can win. If you look at his record, he's beaten some really, really good guys. We probably would have taken that Will McIntyre fight. If Zane was in better condition, he would have whooped Will McIntyre.
He gained 16 pounds in that 1 year between.
Yeah, so that was strategic.
Okay.
Will was a bigger fighter, but we thought that we could beat him. And Will was older at the time as well. Will's awesome, dude. He's a police officer on the North Shore. He actually was the security guard at one of our games at Nationals, and I got a chance to talk to him. We win that fight. You looking at a ranking at that point, and who knows, man. Opportunities like that is why you get into boxing, to be able to play in that area.
And to think, like, it wasn't that far away. Like you said, the quarter fight was close. The fight with McIntyre was close. It wasn't that far away from being a very realistic thing. Crazy.
To be honest, I don't know how. And I guess because it's Cleveland Quarter, it was his state commission. There allegedly may have been a failed drug screen after that.
Well, he announced his retirement after the fight.
No, not on his side.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Yeah. Allegedly. Hey, real quick before we jump off the boxing bandwagon, last night we had ran a couple stories on our Facebook and now on group chat podcast, dtb.com. Oliver McCall fought last night.
Oh, Jesus
60-year-old Oliver McCall, which we have been talking about, the elder statesman, still, for whatever reason, wanted to fight. He fought to a draw last night. Guess where?
Nashville,
Tennessee. He won on one card, lost on another, and was drawn on the other side. His opponent, Carlos Reyes, 48 years old. Winless in his last 14. Been knocked out in 8 of those. It's crazy, man. Crap boxing. And then 0-11, Marco Lara was TKO'd in 48 seconds as well.
Oliver McCall, please. Like, if this is a money thing, start a GoFundMe, dude. Like, there's gonna be some of your fans that are gonna support you. It ain't worth it, bro. You're gonna die in that ring, man. No. It would be akin to like Mike Tyson not doing just a Jake Paul fight and becoming an active boxer again.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, he's a 60-year-old man who used to be good, but just...
I feel like that's kind of where, seems like, isn't that where boxing's kind of headed for the most part?
YouTubers and old men.
Yeah. YouTubers and old men,
it's
man.
Just a money grab. People see how much money they can make off of it, so why not?
About approximately how much do you think an Oliver McCall fight is worth? 20 grand? 25 grand?
Absolutely not. On that
10
card?
Grand?
No way.
5 grand?
Less.
That was a 6-round fight. You talking max, at the maximum level. And there's no way this happened. $2,500. That's the max.
Well, why is he doing it? Then that makes it even sadder, man.
Probably back in my day. I'm gonna get on my uphill to school both ways soapbox. For a casino fight, you were lucky to get $200 around. For a show small like this, what they call that, a club show, $100 around.
Jeez.
So anywhere from $600 to $2,500 is my educated opinion.
And they don't make like an exception. Like, hey, you were a former world champion. We'll give you a couple $1,000s on top.
Sure,
of it.
if you could draw, but a 60-year-old Oliver McCall, what is he drawing? And I think they have a built-in crowd there, so I don't think they have to pay. But a guy like Shannon Briggs, he may be fighting.
Yeah. He's got a market.
I don't know. So Shannon Briggs, he's 53?
50 something. So
50 some odd. So he's going to be fighting in July. I think one of the first weekends in July. His opponent has vanished.
Oh,
so
like disappeared?
Well, on BoxRec, not like the mob,
not like he just escaped from a New Orleans prison, disappeared, right?
Yeah, you just have to go live on Facebook after that. After you escape.
We're gonna talk about that too a little bit later on.
One of them went live.
Oh yes,
I did not see anything. I haven't been keeping up with
the one who's the most easy to find. You would think the one with the face tats has been going on Instagram Live and stuff, and they still can't catch his ass. Let's talk about something here. It's kind of a bright topic, and I see it's actually breaking news here 10 minutes ago. Vanderbilt forward Journey Johnson just got an offer from Incarnate Word. Emmy Ingram has an offer from Nicholls State University. Nyla Lyons has offers all over the place now. Austin P, I believe, was the latest. She also has a Nicholls offer.
Chicago State,
yes, 100%. London White has an offer now from Nicholls State University. So I count Stewart, Johnson, Emmy, London, Nyla. 5 players from our area have Nicholls offers. When you count Journey and Nyla and some of the others, that's players that have Stewart has multiple offers as well as players that have multiple offers. I've been covering girls basketball in our area since 2009. I've been watching it since the 1990s. I don't know that we've ever had a situation where it feels like every team has one player that's like generating college interest. And it's freaking awesome to see, quite frankly. The boys' side's a little slower because, frankly, the boys' side, it's hard to get in. The NIL has kind of crushed everything there. The girls' side's a little easier to get into the club. It's going to be an awesome girls' basketball season watching all of this talent, man. And how about the young ladies, London White? She plays 1 week of summer league. She's coming from Houma Junior High, plays 1 day of summer league at the Nicholls team camp. And Justin Payne's like, yeah, we got to have her. Yeah. Offers her after a day. Like, dude, you coached against a lot of these kids. You watched a lot of these kids. This is freaking incredible, man. It's awesome to see.
It's going to be awesome to have to face a D1 offeree 3 games in a row. We faced Emmy on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to face London on Saturday afternoon as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. If you get an offer, you automatically got to play against the Flash. But no, shout out London. Been playing against her for years now. Great kid.
Yes, she.
One of the awesome things, all these young ladies getting offers, it's all fantastic human beings as well.
And that's part of the reason why. That's part of the reason why is because they do have their books in order. If Justin Payne right now is going and looking and saying, hey, let me look at this London White, and he goes and looks at the transcript and sees 1.4, he ain't offering her. These are kids that are great students. They're great kids. They're the type of kids that when you go and you shake their hand and say, hello, I'm Coach Justin Payne, they're looking at you in the eye. They're not looking at the ground. They are very respectful people in addition to being incredible basketball players, and that matters a lot. These are kids not making asses out of themselves on social media, nothing like that. They're good players, but like Damian said, they're really, really good people as well.
Crucial moment in our game against Emmy on Sunday. I think it was maybe a 3-point game. They're shooting free throws, and Emmy's back on our side of the court, and she's just staring me down. I looked at her, and I smiled. I said, Emmy, what's up? And she just looks at me and smiles. And then the next possession, they call a timeout, and I'm a stickler for who's taking the ball out. If it's somebody different, odds are they're getting the ball back. She took the ball out, so I alert my kids. I said, hey, Emmy's taking the ball out. She's probably getting it back. She looks at me with the biggest smile on her face. I was like, this is a freaking awesome kid. And I got a chance to talk to her dad, Carlton, a little bit on Saturday afternoon between games. He was talking about their travel team, I believe the SIP. They play in one of the Nike EYBL leagues.
Yep.
He was telling me about that team. They practice in Memphis. They practice in Jackson.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Nyla's on that team too, I believe. And he was just kind of breaking down the process of what they do, how they do it. And I think almost every kid on that team has some type of offer. He said with the way the game is now, if you get an offer, you can't sit on that. So it's going to be interesting to see some of these girls that are getting multiple offers, how quick they commit or how quick that actual scholarship comes their way. That was a good point that I thought he made. One more player. She's not really from our area, but she plays against us. She's been playing against us forever. Part of the Kenner Angels. Coach Jamie Thomas, Coach Chris Levine, Coach Cam Gassery, who's an assistant coach at Loyola. Awesome people that I've got great relationships with over the past few years. Molly Avard, East Bank kid.
Oh, yeah. I've heard the name.
Plays at Chappelle. She got a Nicholls offer yesterday as well. So shout out Molly. She's nailed some crucial threes against me at some crazy moments, but an awesome kid as well. Super respectful. It pays to play in these team camps.
Yes.
If you're not playing and you're sitting at the house, I understand you're getting better, but your kids aren't getting that exposure. Yep. There's levels to this type of stuff, and I don't care what you did in the past and what you're going to do in the future. If you're not getting your kids exposure, I don't know exactly what we're doing. There's college offers galore on the local circuit. There's 100% value playing at these team camps at all these local colleges. It's built-in scouting for your kids. You got to go do it, and you got to get it done.
And on the flip side to that, Jacob, is how awesome is it that Nicholls has a girls basketball coach that understands, I want to keep these girls here. I want to host a team camp. Damian just mentioned the young lady was it Chappelle?
Yeah.
The young lady at Terrebonne, Emmy. I saw there was a young lady that plays for Opelousas this weekend that got an offer based off of the team camp performance. So Coach Payne and them, they're not just waiting back. Like Nicholls used to be a place. Look, let's be real. Let's call it like it is. 10, 15 years ago, Nicholls was a place that would get the restants. They would get the last chance you kids, the kids that didn't have other offers, whatever it may be. Coach Payne saying, on that, I want to attack this thing. I want to go and be the first one to offer these kids, and we're going to maybe get some big-time prospects into here. And instead of maybe scouting somebody else playing at the Northwestern team camp, why don't we just have our own? And I think that that's an awesome thing that they're doing, and they're getting great exposure and building great relationships. It's an awesome thing to see.
And that's on him. 100% on Coach Justin Payne. Yep. He's changed the culture. He's made it fun. He coaches his ass off.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't give anybody any slack, but just his style, his charisma, down to the way he dresses, it's attractive for folks to go and play for him. I know if I was in line to go coach with him, I would take that in a heartbeat. The energy level at practice must be insane. Yeah. And it's just an awesome place to be. The culture is great at Nicholls State University on both sides right now.
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to the original point. I mean, that just kind of speaks to the growth of just women's basketball down here in general. Because like you said, you can't remember a time where there was that many local schools with that many offers way before their senior season even starts. And I've only been really around the girls' game for probably the last year or two. And before that, I could have told you that I never in my life would have thought that I would coach girls.
Yeah.
I just thought it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I just thought there was no way. You always see like the little itty-bitty kids just running around screaming, crying. You just, I can't do that. But now that I've been around it, I honestly love it.
I know what comments coming next, and I'm just going to say it before it pops up because we may be on a little lag. You know what Gyro calls coaching or was calling coaching girls basketball?
What's that?
The easy way out.
I see.
And now he figured out that it's not that easy.
So while we're on the topic of colleges and commitments, this is something that is not on our list. So again, I'm throwing y'all something out of left field. Kirby Smart said in Florida at the SEC meetings, and he was talking about NIL regulation and different topics, and I think he was on Feinbaum when he said this. He said that schools are having to pay recruits $20,000 a month when they're in high school and when they're committed to you to stay committed to you and to become a signee at your school. We hear about NIL, and we know Bryce Underwood got, I don't know, $10 million, whatever it was, to go to Michigan. But now it's to the point where, all right, Little Junior says, I'm committing to LSU. Well, Little Junior's uncle saying, yo, BK, if you want my little nephew to stay committed to you, you might want to send the stipend this way of $15,000, $20,000 a month. This NIL is out of control, man. What are we doing?
That was definitely always a thing.
It's legitimately blue chips coming to real life.
Yeah.
Ricky Rose daddy needs a tractor. Get him a tractor. Penny Hardaway's mama needs a house. Guess what? Get him a house. And now you could do it legally. Before you had to have the friends of the program.
When it comes to all that stuff, like everybody freaks out about the breaking news about what they do, and all of that doesn't really surprise me. They've been paying those guys since way before NIL was even a thing.
So our government is trying to get in there.
Yeah.
Trying to pass the tax on the gambling to be able to give the schools NIL money.
So
gambling.
So like my losses on FanDuel would go to LSU's collective?
Probably your wins.
My win. Oh, so the taxes on my
no,
winning.
I really don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it. Our legal expert would have to jump in on that. Hey, so it's a cool segment that we talked about doing, and if we catch on a Wednesday, take a quick bet on like a first to score, whatever. Beam that, get a live reaction.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be something cool.
Yeah, live.
The big viral thing on TikTok right now, I don't know if it's viral. It's viral on my algorithm, but Angel Reese first miss shot. These guys are a group of 4 that bet at every game, and they show their reaction.
So that's the thing. You could bet whether she'll make or miss her first shot.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
So what's the odds of her making? It got to be like plus 200, plus 220. That's her field goal percentage is 32%. So it can't be even odds, I wouldn't think.
3 fellas that every day bet. Every day did who does Angel Reese play for?
Sky.
The Sky. The bet is this is day 6 of her missing her first shot of the game that she takes.
Day 6, baby. Day 6. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Here we go. Here it is. Bricklayer. Here it is.
Bricklayer.
Here it comes. Bricklayer.
Oh, yeah. We could do that.
That's good
we
stuff.
could do that.
That is good stuff, right?
I envision, I don't know, football season biddies, you guys are going to be in the gym a lot and everything, but like I know there's props where you could bet on what's going to be the result of a first drive. If I take Saints punt on the first drive, I could go nuts after they go 3 and out. Yeah. Absolutely.
We understand we made the mistake of stopping last time we did this when we were in our little shop in Golden Meadow. I think now that the technology is a lot better, we could jump on a call in no time. And obviously we could just link up here, even if we're not all together, which is awesome to be together and be in the studio. We could, as the Down to Buy folks say, get it.
If we could all just get on the same page, bro, we'd be able to get it. Let's talk about LSU baseball for a second. The Tigers, I said on Sunday, were going to breeze through Little Rock. They were a 4 seed. They were several games below 500. They were out of pitching. LSU still had some pitching. For whatever reason, Jay Johnson didn't use it on Sunday. Little Rock beats them on Sunday. Little Rock's beating the crap out of them on Monday. And then Jay Johnson finally uses the guy that I thought he should have used on Sunday, which is your number 3 starter, Cason Evans. He comes in, strikes out everybody, 6 innings, 12 Ks. LSU rallies back. Little Rock still made it tough. And Jay Johnson said, and I think this is profound, and this is, I think, something that's fair to say. He said, hey, look, I don't want the story of this to be, hey, the big mighty LSU struggled against Little Rock. I want the story of this to be, hey, Little Rock kind of balled out here and really played well. LSU got challenged. They do survive in advance, and now they're heading to a super regional at West Virginia. My broadcast colleague during the days, Brian Colley, said, hey, look, when you're a team that has to gut one out like that and you survive, that makes you really freaking dangerous in the future. Yep. And I think that that's kind of the message right now. If I were an LSU fan, hey, relax. Don't worry about this Little Rock thing. I think this team's going to be okay. I got somebody that is kind of with me on that. FanDuel, the Tigers have the best odds of anybody to win the national championship. Jacob, you watched the 2 games. What did you make of LSU's performance?
I think Cason Evans deserves his completely own segment because without those 9, I believe, 9 straight batters, I believe?
9 straight Ks.
I thought I saw something on Twitter that actually said that might be it's definitely an LSU record, but it might even be an NCAA record as well. What about that play by Reeves, too, at third base? That was huge. That kind of set the tone there. Then they had that Hernandez home run that just kind of blew everything open. I think everything was pretty good after that. Also, I believe that was Jay Johnson's 500 career win.
500 career wins.
And it was good to see Bear kind of wake up a little bit as well. Everybody needed to see that at that point.
Dude, just for his own mental health. You could just see in his face, he was fried. This is a dude that's been hitting home runs, and he was just stuck. Trying to hit home runs, just trying to get on base, striking out. Whenever he hit that home run in the ninth inning, you could just feel the relief. And he did get a big one. It was some big insurance runs.
Yeah, that was huge.
And also, Jay Johnson makes the move. He puts Ethan Fry in the 2-hole, moves Bear down. Ethan Fry gets on base all 6 times he comes up. The Tigers are big favorites against West Virginia. The regional round was always going to be the most challenging for LSU because that's where you got to play the most games. Super regional, at the most, is going to be 3 games. You got enough pitching for 3 games. In Omaha, yeah, you got to play a bunch of games, but it's spaced out. You don't have to play every day. There's days off, whatever it may be. So I really think, much like FanDuel, and they agree, LSU is the best odds. I'm not telling you that they're winning at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I am telling you that you could take the Little Rock thing and you could kind of flush it a little bit because I do think they're in a good shape going forward. And we'll see. Could be another special summer for the LSU baseball team.
That's a pretty cool thing about baseball. So kind of throw the records out. You had a team that caught fire, obviously, in the conference tournament, brought it into Baton Rouge over the weekend. Those games started way too late for me, first off, because I like to sleep and I have to wake up really early in the morning. You're going to know that guy's name. I didn't catch the name. Their slugger.
Oh, Cairo.
That guy was damn impressive.
Damien, he was hitting 210 coming into the regional. Like, I don't know what HGH he got on before arriving in Baton Rouge. I saw this stat. Okay, he had in those 5 or 6 games as many RBIs as he had the entire season. He's the 7-hole guy. This was not a guy that anybody was expecting to be afraid of. And he just shows up and is hitting home runs and doubles and making diving plays at first base. Like, and that's a dude that they're already saying, ironically enough, as he's an underclassman, like he's going to go in the portal and he's going to make some money.
Of course.
What I thought was crazy, fellas, is that the Tigers have the best odds of anyone to win their super regional. North Carolina is minus 330 to beat Arizona. Louisville is minus 174 to beat Miami. Florida State minus 125 to beat Oregon State. Auburn minus 160 to beat Coastal Carolina. Duke minus 410 to beat Murray State. LSU minus 430 to beat West Virginia. Arkansas and Tennessee is going to be a fight. Arkansas minus 146 to beat Tennessee, and then UCLA minus 186 to beat UTSA. You're an LSU team that they're telling you you're the favorites now, and they're telling you that you got the best odds of anyone to make it to Omaha. So I think you're in a spot where if you don't, pardon the French, if you don't and you just play well, I think you're going to be one of the last teams left standing for sure.
Would you agree that most of the favorites on here are pretty much destined to go in with Arkansas and Tennessee because that's going to be
fist fight?
I'll watch all of those games.
Can you really bank on that happening, being the upsets that were had in the regular?
That would have been my only point to go opposite is that, yeah, I would have said that Vanderbilt and Texas would have been locks too, and they certainly weren't. But it's hard for me to envision, UTSA making it to Omaha or Murray State. But
that's how, yeah.
Who knows, man? Let's talk about Zion Williamson for a second because we do have a little clarity on his situation. Joe Dumars said today that he has had some, quote, very honest discussions with Zion Williamson. I don't know if those honest discussions included, hey, don't rape anybody.
Allegedly.
Hey, don't be 350 pounds.
Not allegedly.
I don't know what that would consist of, but Dumars said, I've had some serious discussions, but he's going to be part of our team. I think that this is twofold. I think that this is part New Orleans maybe wanting to save the relationship, but I also think this is part New Orleans knowing you ain't going to get nothing for him if you divorce him right now. So they know that the best path forward is try to make him have a little success so that you can maybe sell high in the future. The Pels are going to run it back. I don't think they have a very bright immediate future, but trying to get Zion to give a crap for a little while so that he can move on somewhere else maybe in the future might be the best way to go.
I think this might be it. There's no way if that rumor or his alleged charge has validity to it, he's done. Yeah, absolutely done.
Yeah, in career done.
Yeah. He can't play a full season. He can't stay under 400 pounds, and he can't keep his hands off of women. That's a 3-strike and you out rule, and your GM doesn't like you, and the coach that probably likes you is the reason that you're still around is not going to be there for that long, hopefully.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't know how he made it through all of last season, but with the way that the Pelicans organization runs, I'm not really surprised. But as far as Zion goes, I mean, you need him. And it's been kind of proven before. It's pretty common that most athletes get accused of rape here and there, and they've all denied it, of course. I don't really see it being a true thing.
Common for athletes to get rape charges?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay. I thought that was like at a 3% level, but
No, you see a lot more often than what you think, especially college athletes that are about to get paid. They get it a lot more often too, but it's still pretty common.
excellent chime in, Gyro.
Thanks.
Joe Dumars.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a new job,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do?
Put my stamp on it, man.
Make a splash, right?
Yeah.
Show them that the hire was worth it. Dude's doing nothing.
You know why? That's Mickey's boy. David Griffin probably wanted to do some stuff. That's probably why they moved him out.
That was Langdon that brought in all the Dukies.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Yeah, David Griffin, he's got the skins on the wall to be able to build something, but you're right. He probably wanted to spend some money and make some cap room, and nobody could be better than Mickey, right?
Yeah, look, that was the biggest thing that all the Pelican fans were griping about on social media at the time. Was y'all just fired a dude who won a championship. And I get it. It wasn't going great in New Orleans, but y'all replaced him with a dude who plays golf with Mickey Loomis all the time. One thing I'll say about Zion Williamson, and this was something that was very loud. I saw this on social media, and I'm thinking to myself last night, this is probably something here. Coach K, and I don't have the video. If I were a little more prepared, I would play the video. Coach K was talking on X about Cooper Flagg and how he thinks he's going to be a transcendent superstar player in the NBA. Coach K said Cooper Flagg's the best freshman we've ever had here at Duke.
Who's we?
That's what I'm saying. He's not the coach anymore. That's a great question. He says Cooper Flagg is the best freshman that we've ever had at Duke. So this is a guy who averaged 19 points, 7 rebounds a game, shot 48%. Zion, as a freshman, averaged 23 points a game, 9 rebounds, and shot 68%. So the fact that the old ball coach is saying that Flagg was better than Zion, definitively better than Zion, Zion's probably a headache to deal with, brother. And without hesitation. Oh, he's without question the best freshman we've ever had here. Zion has better numbers. Why didn't you include him? He's probably a head case.
This is off the dome. Coach K is an absolute racist.
Ooh, bringing it out. Hot take of the day.
Is there a rebuttal to that, Gyro?
Well,
Gyro's the resident Dookie here.
I don't think so. I've never heard that bore.
He did
I've
say,
never had that thought
idea.
before. Yeah.
he did say to just throw a little water on. He did say that Grant Hill was the best player he's ever coached.
Oh, Grant Hill's kind of in the middle.
You should go either way.
Okay.
Coach K's a racist. Print the shirts.
Yeah,
Nick.
but I agree with you. That's the only thing I can see because
The numbers
don't lie.
don't lie. Zion was a better freshman than Cooper
He
Flagg.
was an absolute freak. I think Cooper, like from the tape wise and looking at it, like just from pure basketball skill, he's the better player. But Zion was definitely the bigger pull. But
Who did Duke choke against in Zion's tournament?
Here?
That's a guarantee to go to Duke and choke, right?
I remember he had his shoe broke,
Oh, that was some good stuff.
and then he missed the rest of the regular season. He did come back and play in the tournament.
Oh, he got hurt?
Yeah, and who knew? Well, if only we had AI, right? Michigan State,
Yeah.
of course. Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo puts the racist to bed.
I like that we've done this to Coach K. And knowing the way that he operates, he's probably listening to this some kind of way. He's got an alert at his house anytime his name is said, and he's got whatever their version of Tommy is. Probably.
So, allegedly, he's a racist.
The NBA Finals start tomorrow. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. I was actually talking to Brandon Brown, and boy, if Brandon weren't running a summer league today over at his place, we would give him a call. He basically said kind of how I feel. I know the Thunder have a better roster, but until I see somebody beat the Pacers with the way they're playing right now, I'm going to believe it's going to be tight and it's going to be very hard fought. Vegas thinks that's BS. Vegas says the Thunder are rolling. They're a 10-point favorite tomorrow. The odds are the most stacked as they've been in 20-some-odd years for the Thunder. I just ain't buying it. I think that Indiana gets too many good shots. I think the Thunder are very young. I think that the moment might make them kind of get tight a little bit. What say you? Will we have a close NBA Finals or will it be a walkthrough?
I'm going forward to Thunder. I also think kind of what you said about the Thunder not really having the experience. I mean, you could say the same about the Pacers as well. I don't really see in that moment them having really the guys to go against the Thunder. I'm saying 4-2, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being in 5.
Damon, you were a big pacer guy in the last series. Can they do it? Look, I would say shock the world. I think that's disrespectful. I don't think that they shocked the Knicks. I think they were better than the Knicks. What do they have to do to try to maybe make the magic happen again?
I don't even want to say this because I really like the Pacers, but I'm going 4-1. It's going to be Thunder in 5.
You think they're cooked?
Yeah. You made a really good point on play-by-play this afternoon about literally nobody's talking about this.
Yeah.
The headlines are all something else when it should be NBA Finals.
24 hours away. The ESPN.com lead is a hockey story on the top headlines. We've got Big Ten. We've got soccer. We've got Red Sox. We've got WNBA. We've got tennis. Literally nothing about the NBA Finals.
It is the Stanley Cup, but come on. It is the NBA.
I listen to Big Cat's podcast on Mondays or Sunday afternoon. And they had Caruso on. You could tell just by the way he's talking, those guys are ready. They're really, really playing well together. Obviously, they had one of the regular season record. If not, they were damn close.
They won 60 plus.
Yeah.
The Thunder 68 games. Yeah, they had the best record.
They're in a really good spot. I like the small markets. I think it's going to be a really good finals. I think it's going to be some really well played games, but I do think it finishes in 5.
I'm kind of in the middle. I think Indiana's going to play with them, especially at home. I think. Kind of like Gyro. I'd say Thunder in 6.
Now, look, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Indiana. 100% rooting for Indiana.
Truly, the series in itself is great for basketball. But for the casual, occasional fan, they don't really care because they don't know any big names.
But you have an opportunity to learn all these guys because this is the next gen that's coming up.
Yep.
You're gonna have to know them because both of these teams are going to be there year in and year out unless free agency just attacks them.
Exactly.
What does it say about the NBA players and how little they may know about their colleagues that Tyrese Halliburton was rated the most overrated player in the NBA? I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA. Like, they do a poll at the end of every season. Who's the MVP? Who's the coach of the year? Who's the most overrated? Who's the most underrated? Halliburton was listed as the most overrated player in the NBA by his peers. Some in the NBA Finals. I think if we did this poll again tomorrow, I don't think he would be winning that anymore.
There's a lot of high-level athletes that don't really care to watch the sport that they're participating
100%.
in. I've learned that in the boxing game. I've learned that in the basketball game. I think there may be one kid on my whole 19-person, 2-team roster that actually actively watches basketball.
Damian, look, watch the way these teams play with a 15-point lead and 6 minutes left, and that's apparent. They don't know what to do. They don't have that, hey, I've seen this situation 7,000 times before as a kid watching it or playing NBA Live. They're all computers. Like, okay, when I get the ball in the wing and I'm free, I'm supposed to drive to the goal. They have no understanding of situation. And I think, honestly, what you just said there, and I never really thought about it before, but it's a great point, is that might be why we see so much stuff that is weird, like blown leads and bad shots, because they don't have that background knowledge to fall back on.
I didn't play basketball at a very high level, and I think I could hold my own. I could hold a clipboard with anybody around here. That's how I learned, watching. I've watched so much basketball coming up and playing video games. Nick made that point a bunch of weeks back when we first started this conversation about people learning how to play man-to-man defense on NBA 2K, my player. Learning that you can't just follow your person all over because you lose points. I never played the damn game, so I don't know. I'm just going off of what he said.
Yeah, knowing when to sag off, knowing that you can't face guard because then they're going to backdoor cut you. Like, knowing the stuff that gets you burned on the video game is the stuff not to do in real life.
And then I learned a lot of coaching by watching a lot of college and a lot of pro basketball growing up. And, I had a lot of really, really good mentors whenever I first started coaching or as I coach. I'm still learning. You got to invest in your craft, and watching and scouting is one thing that's huge.
Yeah, no doubt. FanDuel has banned a bettor today, brothers, for heckling Gabby Thomas at a track and field event. I ain't going to lie to you. I think this story is hilarious. She's a gold medal track and field runner. She's a sprinter, okay?
Shout out Gabby Thomas.
Shout out Gabby Thomas. A bettor bet against her to win a race. And then when she lost, trolled the ever-living out of her and basically was saying, hey, you lost, you made my parlay win, all this stuff. The bettor goes by Mr. 100K a day on social media and describes himself as the track and field bully. posted a video of himself heckling Thomas ahead of the 100-meter race alongside a screenshot of a $1,000 parlay bet on FanDuel. He said on X, I made Gabby lose by heckling her and made my parlay win. I ain't going to lie, dude. We're kind of soft. This is kind of funny.
How old is Gabby Thomas?
She's an adult. She's an Olympian.
She's got to deal with it. Yeah.
Thank you. Why do the track and field athletes be immune to this? If you would have done this to LeBron, if you would have done this to Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, they're not throwing you out and banning you. Why does track and field get this golden pass that all of a sudden you can't do this?
I don't know. They're making your boy's dad sit in the suite for the finals.
Yeah, you're right. But Gabby Thomas is a 28-year-old woman from Atlanta.
Society is super soft.
Yep.
So in the video, the bettor says, don't choke Gabby like you did yesterday. You're a choke artist. You're going down, Gabby. That's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's not like
we say worse stuff here.
It's not like he was degrading her or anything.
That leads me to these prima donna pro athletes who get pissed off when somebody's at them that they didn't do well because they messed up their fantasy team. Guess what, bro? That's the business. Like the Godfather said, that's the business we've chosen.
That's why you're making millions of dollars, but people give a shit about you.
We didn't ask who sent the orders. It was about business.
Honestly, that's what kind of pisses me off a little bit about some of the WNBA drama too, is that for years it was all bro, nobody watches us. And now that we're starting to watch, the players are pissed because we're not rooting the way that they want us to.
Yeah, because the only reason people are watching is because of Caitlin Clark.
That probably is the case. Why should Diana Taurasi or Angel Reese or whoever it is take exception to that? Your ratings are up. You're all going to get more money. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. So here we have a dude who's now banned from FanDuel. The athlete came out on social media and said that the comments from the heckler were sick. All he said was that you were going to choke.
We need our resident attorney here. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
It does feel like there's probably some stuff this guy will be able to do to get back onto the FanDuel. And you know what's going to end up happening? I think he's a professional gambler. He's going to sue and claim mental anguish. Oh, my God, I didn't know I was going to pay my bills on that. He's going to end up winning some money out of this. Does he have a case there? Because he is a professional bettor. He does this for a living.
I 100% believe he has a case. I don't think there's anything he did that influenced the outcome. I don't know if somebody has the audio.
So he was on video, like calling her a choke artist, saying she's going to lose. Now, he's not offering her part of the winnings, but on the video, he shows his parlay card like it was $1,000 parlay bet. And then after, he's on X basically saying, hey, I'm the guy who caused my parlay to win. You know, I made her lose, whatever. But he wasn't tripping her during the race. He was just heckling her before the race.
Yeah, I don't think they have a leg to stand on. I don't know why they would cancel that bet if he's just yelling from the stands. Now, if it's just strictly with FanDuel, I don't think they have an argument. If he was kicked out of the thing, that's a whole different story. But I like his chances of some kind of legal action on this, not nullifying his bet.
So Casey made a point earlier, Tommy, about suffering. Does he have some more money coming his way because of that?
He's a pro bettor. He can't do it. Like, how's he going to pay his light bill? I'm sure he's nervous. He's got anxiety.
If sports betting can be quantified or qualified as an actual profession, then you could possibly say future lost wages. Maybe he has some emotional anguish depending on how much money he lost in particular bet. Gail Benson had a great quote today: "Is anybody could sue anybody for anything. It's just a matter of what can you prove and what sticks."
Yeah. So, 100%. But the problem with Gail Benson is people have been arrested and she tried to cover that up. So, hey.
Tomato.
Didn't they support child molestation allegedly at a Catholic church?
Didn't support, but just kind of hid that it was happening.
What do you mean by they?
I don't know, but I've been using allegedly way too much this episode, so I may need you. Livvy Dunn is looking pretty sharp in the background here.
Yes, she is.
We can figure that out. Yeah.
Paul Skeens, brother, you are a very lucky man.
Except the fact that he plays for the Pirates.
Dude, Skeens pitched yesterday.
Dude, I think his ERA went down to 2.05, and he still has a negative.
He is 4-6. So if I tell you guys pitcher's 4-6, you're thinking, yeah, his ERA like 4.8, 5.2. His ERA is 2.05. His whip is 0.88. If you don't know what a whip is, that's walks and hits per innings pitched. So he's allowing less than a base runner per inning. 85 strikeouts, 2.05 ERA, and he's 4-6. Pittsburgh, what are you doing? Jacob, you're a baseball guy. That feels impossible.
It's absolutely terrible. It's kind of painful to watch. Me and Peyton were talking about it last night, actually, and he was like, oh, man, they need to trade him to the Dodgers. That would be even worse than him staying in Pittsburgh. I don't think I would like that at all. I actually kind of like, on the baseball side, like, you get drafted there, he wants to build and win a World Series there. And I think that would be great. But it's pretty tough to watch.
It is hard to watch.
Everybody's saying for to trade him and that it's a waste of his talent and stuff, but I don't see him being that kind of guy that would immediately ask for a trade to go to a bigger market. It seems like he's willing to stay, and he's playing his ass off.
Well, there are a lot of people that are saying that the Pirates might just trade him because they know that's their only method to try to maybe get like 10 players.
But their ownership is absolutely terrible.
If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm thinking to myself right now, at some point he's going to want a $400 million contract.
And they should give it to him.
They should. They're not going to, though.
You got to think. They just bought his rookie debut patch card for $1.1 million and built a shrine to it at the Dick's Sporting Goods in Pittsburgh. They are all in on this guy.
They should be.
As they should, yeah.
They should be because, my God, 2.05 ERA, that's unbelievably good for sure.
Casey, who was, I believe, first baseman for the Pirates when Bonds was playing? Oh, white guy with a mustache.
Oh.
Why can't I think of that guy's name?
The Pirates were loaded in those days.
I want to say like number 12, like a single-digit number.
Orlando Merced? Huh?
This was a guy that you see at Tobacco Plus smoking a cigarette on a rocking chair.
Jeff King? 92, I think, was Bonds' last year with them.
Bunch of white dudes with thick-ass mustaches.
That was the thing. Bro, did Little Rock's pitching coach have a mustache or what?
That thing was sweet. I'd give him that.
That was absolutely gorgeous. But Barry Bonds, by the way, for the Pirates, I'm looking at these stats. Put this dude in the Hall of Fame. He wasn't on steroids yet when he was with the Pirates, and his stats are man.
He was a freak. I don't understand that whole.
The juice had nothing to do. Well, nothing. It had something to do. But 1992, Barry Bonds hit 311, 34 home runs, 103 RBI. He walked 127 times at a 456 on-base percentage, 39 stolen bases. That dude was ridiculous. Got to get him into the Hall of Fame.
You know Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid?
Yep.
Every July 1st, baby.
Yep. That's vanilla day.
$1.1 million every July 1st.
Sid Bream. That's probably who you're thinking of, Amy.
Who it was. You could see Sid sipping some coffee at Tobacco Plus.
Murda also said he's with Livvy. He's absolutely going to L.A. or New York. I could see that. They did actually believe they're about to play the Padres, and she was there with him, and she was posting about how she loves it there. And I believe he's from that area.
He is a California guy. Here's the thing. He ain't going to be a free agent for about 5-6 more years. Is he still really going to still be with Livvy then?
Oh, yeah, I would hope so.
Is she breaking up with him?
That's the only thing I could see because they both.
He ain't.
No, he ain't going nowhere. But
did you give Livvy Dunn your Facebook password? That's coming up.
Absolutely.
Yep.
She can have whatever she wants.
I'm on the same page.
Let's talk about Tom Thibodeau real quick. Then we'll get to Orlando Magic. Then we'll dive into our some other stuff that we got cooking here. The New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau today, just 24 hours after it had leaked that they were not going to fire Tom Thibodeau. Ownership wants a guy who is going to, quote, trust more of the roster, which is basically a way of saying, you only played 7 guys, your starters are tired and wore out. They want somebody to give them a break every once in a while. Brian and I talked about this today. I think he nailed it. This is Mike Malone. This has been in the works. Mike Malone is a New York City guy. Mike Malone is unexpectedly available. It feels like this is something that they had planned as soon as Malone went down. Hey, if Tibbs don't win the chip, we're bringing in Malone. You read between the tea leaves.
But who are you to make this move?
Oh, I'm with you. I think it's a mistake. Why did the Knicks think they deserve better than making it to the Final Four?
That's what I'm saying. I don't school us on this. 25 years since the Knicks have made the finals, the conference finals.
Yep.
You're going through 17 and 27, 21 and 83, 60 and 104. Man, that Jeff Hornacek era must have been nice. Kurt Rambis era of 9-19. Shout out Kurt Rambis.
Shout out Kurt Rambis.
Like, who are you at this point? Yeah, you got a historic franchise that's done great things in the 40s. That was fantastic. Then you brought in Patrick Ewing, couldn't win. And now you're bringing in a guy, a tough guy, that probably doesn't celebrate this month like his center is. And let's talk about reality. You think you better than where you are in 2025.
Remember when they had Derek Fisher? I'm looking at that 40 and 96. Ugh. The Knicks used to be a laughing stock.
Yeah, like this is the best team that they've had in a long time. Definitely since Carmelo.
I didn't know Don Chaney coached.
Yeah.
The pros.
There's a lot of whispers that if Malone tells them no, that the guy on that list, their Jeff Van Gundy would maybe go back.
He's got to go home.
I don't see why Mark Jackson does not have a job in the NBA. I've been saying that for years. I don't understand why he doesn't have a job.
He probably raped somebody.
Ooh. All the owners are racist. That's why they're not hiring.
Allegedly.
Malone, got to be, huh? Highly shocked if it's not.
Oh, absolutely.
New York guy, the odds on FanDuel minus odds, it's got to be him,
I think
right?
That's actually like the 5th or 6th straight coach of the year that gets fired the following year.
It's crazy, dude. Shelf life, there's no loyalty in the NBA whatsoever.
Tibbs is going to get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
Bring him to
If he
Orleans.
wants it. Yeah, I say if he wants it for sure. I mean, he's 67. He may shut it down at this point. I can't see him doing media because he's always furious and doesn't have a sense of humor, but you never know.
Speaking of being better than what you are, his hairline needs to go. Like, just go with
give
it.
up, dude.
Yeah, just go with it. Put some sunscreen on there and go with the shiny dome.
So did you see the asked Rick Carlisle about it, and he thought it was an AI-generated meme? He didn't believe it.
I didn't think it was real either.
I didn't either.
That was a situation like when Luka got traded. I was convinced that Shams' Twitter had gotten hacked. Even after I had seen that it's actually his account, I'm like, ain't no way, bro. Somebody from India hacked his account and is playing tricks on us.
Trying to win $250.
Trying to win $250. No way.
Wait, how do we on that topic? Do you think that was a ploy by the NBA to get them the first pick?
Oh, my God. Luka? Yes.
You're not a podcast listener? We covered that ad nauseum.
Adam Silver said it was not today. Adam Silver's full of shit. It absolutely was.
Oh, they actually asked him about it?
Oh, yeah. They asked him. He's like, hey, I'm glad the Mavericks won the lottery. They were trying to win. They weren't tanking. They were doing it the right way. The odds are the odds, and they got rewarded. And yeah, he said all the right stuff, but come on, man. Same thing went after the Pelicans. They traded Anthony Davis. They won the lottery. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic new uniforms, and then we will get to our What Would You Rather. That'd be a perfect time to bring Tommy onto the show. Magic breaking out some new uniforms. I was a huge Orlando Magic fan as a kid. Shaq and Penny, that was my stuff. Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill. Now they breaking out these new uniforms, and it feels like they're not going to be throwbacks. It feels like that's just going to be what they're going to wear now.
And they rebranded the uniforms. They did the logo. Everything was rebranded.
That's what's up. Now the next thing they got to do is get rid of their Duke superstar Banchero, and then we'll be good to go. He's good. I ain't going to lie. He's a good player.
See if this works.
Are these new Orlando Magic uniforms, are they the best uniforms in the NBA?
If they aren't number one, they sure as hell ain't number three.
Okay, I've never heard it explained like that, but I follow what you're saying there.
Do you think anybody from the Magic that wore those jerseys was maybe right outside of that jersey era? Do you think it's possible that they participated in a dunk contest and turned their jerseys inside out?
I really don't think that's possible. I also don't think that Scott Skiles is going to come back anytime soon and drop 30 assists either.
That was not an echo. That was a stutter. Just FYI. Don't call them out.
We got breaking news.
Go ahead.
Tiana Stewart, Vanderbilt Catholic. We were mentioning her earlier in the show as having a Nicholls offer. She has just committed to Nicholls State University. JP, baby, making it happen. That is awesome. A local girl committing to Vanderbilt Catholic. That's big time, brother.
Good stuff.
Carlton nailed it. You got to commit early. You can't wait and possibly get your spot taken by an NIL person.
If you want to know what the type of player that Tiana Stewart is, she's a point guard. She won the shot put at the 4A state championship track meet. She's strong as a mule. That is an awesome, awesome news piece. I'm super happy. jacked up. That's awesome. Let's do a new segment here. What would you rather, or what could you do better? This is taking the place of overrated, underrated. We might jump back into overrated, underrated at some point.
We got to keep it light. I think I got 7 questions. It'll spark some good debate. So the first one, and chat, feel free to play along. Would you rather have to introduce yourself to every stranger with your 8th grade ICQ name or your Ken Ramsey bragging board username? Gyro probably has no idea what Ken Ramsey is.
Nope.
But Tommy Thibodaux was a 5-star athlete. On
Yes, he was. And I thought he was going to Duke. And I was so disappointed the first time I saw him play.
What the hell is Ken Ramsey?
Ken Ramsey.
I have no idea why you would think I was going to Duke, because that's horrible.
Because something tells me Damian and Nick and them put a recruiting profile on the side that said you were going to Duke.
I don't know if that was us that did all of that. It was some of it. Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember my Ken Ramsey bragging board username, but I guarantee you it was hilarious. So, Hunanator? It was a nickname that I had for a long time when Big Pun was a thing. I'm going to have to go with ICQ username on that one.
So, Gyro, you don't know what any of this is, huh? Like, you don't know what Ken Ramsey is? You don't know what ICQ is?
I've heard of ICQ, but I have no idea what Ken Ramsey is.
So ICQ was basically texting back in the day, but you had to be on a computer. You would log into this service. You would, on the left hand of your screen, you would see all your friends, whether they were online or offline. They would have like a status like Facebook. So if they were away, it would say, hey, I'm watching TV. I love blank, 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 blank. And they'd have the little letter, like you'd have to fill in the blanks, see who had a crush on who. It was where all the teenagers would hang out and chat and stuff.
Almost like a OG Discord.
Yeah, similar.
I don't really know what
with dial-up.
With dial-up, 100%. 100%.
You gotta get the ICQ little sound.
I have that somewhere.
Yeah.
The kicker for ICQ was nobody was actually away ever.
Ever.
It was just somewhere that you could leave a little note.
To be petty to somebody else, or 100%. No one was ever away.
Fair enough.
Tom, you got an answer?
Yeah, for the sake of me not remembering nor probably want to remembering, because for a while I think our emails were like smokethat@hotmail.com and things of that nature.
No, yours
I'm going to go with the Ken Ramsey bragging board because I'm pretty certain my name was always Tarpon7. So easy association and little embarrassment.
Casey, you remember your ICQ username?
I think it was just DTB Case. I didn't have anything crazy. And I think it was DTB Case, honestly, and Ken Ramsey too.
Next question. Would you rather have to narrate your life in Coach O's voice for 24 hours or only be able to speak in wrestling promos for a week?
I know the answer to this one. I love speaking in wrestling promos, so give me that one all day long. I could cut a wrestling promo on anybody at any time. So if I get to do that for a week, sign me up. I do a Coach O impersonation, and it gives me freaking strep throat just trying it. So if I had to do that for 24 hours, no, indeed, I want to be a wrestling promo for a week.
I feel like I talk in wrestling promos already, so
that's right.
That much of a stretch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The Coach O thing with
Damien kind of took my answer, so just to not agree with him,
I'm
going to talk like Coach O for 24 hours. T-boy.
That was not bad, Tommy. That actually was really good. Yeah. For somebody who doesn't like LSU, that was actually pretty good.
I thought Damien was
I have always let it be known I hate LSU, but I have always respected Coach O. I believe he deserved to win a title. I wish it would have been with USC, but he got his, and I'm over it.
Tommy has all these about who he likes, who he doesn't like.
Stipulations.
Whoa. I for the most part, I like any athlete from the Bahia. Bobby J and Coach O, they're on my Mount Rushmore. So I don't see why I didn't explain that any further.
Fair enough.
So Casey was on with Stan Gravel on the Locker Room podcast this week. Got a chance to listen to that. Did a great job, Casey, by the way. And listened to the end of it, and they had Coach O telling a story. That guy would be our ultimate guest here. He was telling a story about the sewage ditch. They used to use that as like the 50-yard line when they would play football, and he didn't find out till a few years later that it was a sewage ditch, which leads me to understand why he is like he is. I feel like Coach O would answer some of these questions just like we are.
100%.
This next one's solid, and no diss to anybody, so don't get on your high horse. Would you rather let your last ex-girlfriend have your Facebook password for 48 hours or have Brian Colley introduce you at a live event?
Brian Colley introduced me at a live event. You know why? Because those of you who listen to play-by-play right now know me and Brian have a pact. He can't be mean to me for the foreseeable future.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
How did that come about?
That.
Brian's about to go on a cruise. And Buddy and Truck every day go in the air and talk on the bayou like, I hope the boat sinks. I hope he's swimming with sharks. I hope he gets seasick. And Brian finally realized, like, the only person that wishes me well on my cruise is Casey. So I'm going to be nice to him now. So we've got a pact. I'm sure he's going to turn on me and go very heel very soon. But given the two alternatives, Brian Colley could introduce me at a live event because he's going to say glowing things about me.
So I'm going Brian Colley introduced me at a live event because, first off, I think he's done it before at basketball banquets and whatnot. He would dog me out, but it would be hilarious and it would be awesome.
Well, sometimes he plays it straight and he lets everybody else speak first. And then he always says, just remember, you could say whatever you want, but I'm speaking last.
Yep. And that always curved. Everybody's zingers was curved.
I'm not giving my last ex-girlfriend anything, so I'm going Brian Colley at a live event for sure because I feel like that would be absolutely hilarious.
Counselor Thibodaux?
Considering my last ex-girlfriend is my current wife, technically, she could have my Facebook password. I'd rather that because I don't know what Coach Colley would say about me.
Next question. Would you rather be stuck in the locker room with a pissed-off coach after a blowout loss or on the team bus for 6 hours with a speaker playing My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas on loop?
I'd rather be stuck with a pissed-off coach after a blowout loss because we've been there before and we tell the story over and over and over again. It was one of the funnest nights that we've ever had.
Yep. I lived through it, and I live through it every time I lose a game, blowout or non-blowout. This is the area that I come and blow off steam.
I absolutely hate the Black Eyed Peas, so and I'm pretty much around a pissed off coach every weekend, so I'll roll with that.
Yourself?
But yeah,
I'm taking the blowout loss in the locker room because that, the most pissed off I've ever seen a coach. The tirade lasted 15 minutes. Over 6 hours.
It sometimes lasts longer than that.
That's what she said.
We were on
I guess
absolutely no.
Who's on the bus is the team that lost, I would assume. I didn't create the question, but I would assume.
Is this like circa, I don't know, go to meta 1997 where you were going to lose every game, or are we supposed to be good and get a heartbreaking loss?
The person that's sending these questions ain't go that far into detail.
I'm going to take the pissed off coach because, at the end of the day, we'll wake up the next day and we'll be good without Black Eyed Peas for 6 hours.
Yeah, I enjoy hanging out with pissed off coaches, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, one before last question. What would you rather, be forced to play quarterback for the New Orleans Saints for one drive or be forced to be Zion Williamson's dietitian?
Saints quarterback, one drive, because you know what? I'm fumbling all 3 snaps and getting touched, going to the sideline, collecting my $500K.
I was 400 pounds at a time. I could definitely work with Zion. I'm just going to have to protect my backside.
I'm afraid of these.
Allegedly.
Dude, I'm afraid of these ladies, bro. I'm afraid of all these people that he's got around him. I don't want no part of this Mariah Mills. These people are crazy.
Yeah, I'd have to go quarterback for the Saints, too, because if these guys that are getting paid professionally to try to get this dude on the right diet plan can't do it, I definitely can't do it because I might leave and go get McDonald's after this. So don't want to do that. I'll take quarterback.
As much as in my glory, I would love to play in the house that Bobby J built for one drive. I'm thinking about the afterlife and the memoir that I could write from being Zion Williamson's dietitian and watching this dude sabotage his body, his life, his diet, and his future. Would be priceless because then we'd have the inside scoop of I cooked this dude asparagus 6 times a week and he goes get Popeyes and everything we were worried about is true. That's what I'm thinking of.
I ain't gonna lie, you probably win that one. That's a pretty good answer.
Yeah. It's a good question.
So if you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself if you were starving? I mean,
no, I'm a hot dog. That's cannibalism.
How am I?
That's Harry Carey. That's the Will Ferrell.
Oh, it is. It is.
I got no arms.
You're a hot dog. Hey, you are a hot dog. Would you eat yourself?
Freaking Tommy, the dude of 1,000 voices. Yeah. Frank Caliendo over here.
That's what I'm here for. Wait till I get drunk one night in the pod and start doing Macho Man. It's going to be on.
Oh, looking forward to it.
All right, last question. this is actually a serious question, I believe. What do you have a better chance of doing? Sinking a 20-foot putt at Augusta on the 18th green or making a PAT in the Superdome during a live game?
I ain't doing either very often, but the way that I kick, I'm never getting the ball over the lineman. So I probably could one time out of 100 red ass and make a 20-foot putt at Augusta.
I'm right there with you. I'm not doing either one of them, but at this point, I got a better shot at making a putt than I do kicking a freaking field goal.
I feel like Tommy was a good kicker. Tommy, were you ever a kicker?
Does seem like a kicker.
Absolutely not.
No?
But give me the extra point over golf any day.
Oh, okay.
You know who was a kicker that didn't get much love? Keg.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Keg could probably be money at like 25.
That's a real thing?
I don't know if he did it
I guess that.
anywhere out of his backyard or
Yeah.
whatever, but
I thought you meant like he actually kicked.
I mean, he actually kicks, just not in games.
Oh.
Shout out Keg, boy. So I think it would be I would much rather play Augusta than kick in the Super. I played in the Superdome. Chat says PATs all day.
They all about the PAT. Hey, look, I think that I could make a line drive extra point. My problem is the question says in a live game, it's getting blocked every time. I can't get the air on it. And it's a 35-yard field goal now. I can't do that.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. There's no way.
I can't do that now.
People underestimate like how.
What if you line up in the swinging gate though, and the whole line shifts to the left or the right, and you and one dude?
Hey, let's do this challenge from our first ever Lil Games outside challenge. Casey kicks field goals. Nick does backwards half court shots.
Let's do it.
Best of 5.
I could get us into South Lafourche. We could do that.
I'll take Nick in that one.
So
He does that
I get
pretty
5.
Gyro, I told you on Sunday, practice Nick, different person than when then something's on the line.
Yeah,
So
I'll still take that over Casey kicking 5 field goals.
So I'm imagining Nick producing some WWE vignettes, and he's making all of them. He comes out, his music hits, and just like throwing it into the stands, throwing it into the concession, and me red assing and barely getting one across.
You're only gonna have to get one.
Yeah. I could see that. An old extra point, I can make one. 35 yard, never.
35
never.
yards.
Yeah, the old extra point, I think I would. I still wouldn't make any, but obviously I'd have a lot better chances of kicking a
I'm
35 yard.
definitely not making that.
Yeah, that's all.
So,
we got a
but we're
phone
still talking about practice. If we were anybody or worth anything, Nick would be shooting half court shots at a live South Lafourche game, and Casey would be kicking at halftime during a football game as well. Because then it's real life action, and we'll see who's actually got it.
Casey hates this. I see it. I
don't want to get rushed. No, I ain't about getting hit.
At halftime,
Me and Damien are announcing.
This idea is getting way worse. But as the more this goes.
For charity.
All right, yeah, that's good. Hey, by the way, we didn't even shout that out. We're giving money to charity, baby. We're giving money to nonprofits. We're going to be giving $1 for every South Lafourche first down. Myself, all the 4 media organizations I'm part of, Bayou Sports, Group Chat, Lafourche Gazette, Coastal Broadcasting. That's going to be $4 to nonprofits in our community every South Lafourche first down. South Lafourche is going to be good this year. So every time they get a 12-yard passing catch from Mac to Petrie, cha-ching, $4 to charity.
when you asked me about that, I didn't even really think about it. But then I kind of was 20 first downs a game.
Yeah, it's going to be about $200. We're going to raise about $1,000.
Yes. Excellent segue. So speaking of $200, we did a poll this week and asked folks to share our post. And we are going to give away $1 per post, up to $250. Again, when you are participating in the share opportunities, make sure you are publicly visible so you could get credit for the entry. We had over 288 shares, and I could probably only see 75. So make sure you're checking that. But prior to coming on here, because we did close it out at 6 o'clock, it's $250. We got botted, which was still awesome because we got a ton of follows from it. So I'm not even complaining. We put everybody that was eligible. We put them on Nick's little wheel of randomness, and our winner of $250 is the DTB podcast by Bless Your Heart Nonprofit. Congratulations, Mr. Raj Jambon, Jeray, Jambon Gyro, and all of that crew couldn't have gone to a better place. Nick's wheel got some validity now. He screwed me on all the NBA picks, but he definitely made up for it on that. So shout out Nick's wheel, Rajon Ball, Jure, all them folks. Get $250 coming your way via the group chat podcast, right out of Tommy's pocket.
Right out of Tommy's
He just doesn't know it yet.
We got a special episode topic request. Coach Rafe plays on the South Foods Tarpon football teams today. I want y'all to do a show on the top Tarpon football players. We've discussed that. We need to do that. Maybe on a special Sunday show. We just go live and roll it and just talk some Tarpon football.
So we actually have people listening to us? That's pretty cool.
I don't know why.
I got a special call in. Is this Mr. Donovan Hines?
Oh, man.
It is.
What's up, Donovan?
Nothing much, chilling.
Donovan and I have been working on this to surprise Casey.
Absolutely. What's up, Donovan? This is Coach Casey, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing wonderful, brother. I've been very much so enjoying reading about you in the last couple of weeks, man. Super proud of you. Everything's been going well for you out in Washington. Tell everybody about your story a little bit, brother.
So I come from a Coast Guard family. I move around a lot. Matter of fact, I'm not in Washington anymore. I'm in California.
Okay.
But yeah, I just finished up my junior year today. Yeah, there's really not much more to it.
Okay, so talk us through it. Okay, you were here when you were, I think, 8, maybe 9. From Louisiana, where did you go? Where are all the places that you've lived?
After Louisiana, I went to San Diego. And then after San Diego, after my 6th grade year, I went to Washington. And that was from 7th to my sophomore year. And I am in Alameda, California from my junior to my senior year.
What's the high school that you're at?
It's Encino High School.
Okay, nice. What is y'all's mascot?
We are the Jets.
The Jets. Okay, good. So I got to know who I'm rooting for in your senior season, man. We were talking about this. A lot of your buddies that you played biddy with, Terrence, Meathead, all them guys, they're all still playing sports here. They're all still down the bayou. Terrence is breaking records on the football side. Meathead's the starting running back. All of the old crew is still playing sports. And, dude, I wish we still had you, man, especially watching these videos of you getting up and dunking and all this crazy stuff. You're still a heck of an athlete, brother.
I appreciate it. It's just hard work and dedication.
Hey, Donovan, do you remember your nickname when you were down here?
Gold shoes.
Hey.
You still got them gold shoes?
I got to bring it back. I don't have them now. I don't know where they at.
I can tell you, little bro, you left a lasting impression on me, Coach Casey, Coach Nick. We talk about you all the time, man, and to be able to connect with you is pretty freaking special. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I did not expect this at all.
So you play football. Do you still play basketball? I know you do track. Like, let them know what all you play.
Yeah, I play football. I play basketball and I run track.
And from what I understand, there's probably some opportunities to maybe do it beyond the prep level. Let them know, like, where you getting some offers, bro.
I don't have any offers, but I do have interest. So I have interest from like some HBCUs, some like D2 schools, and I think the biggest D1 school I know of is Ole Miss right now.
We're here in Louisiana. We're LSU fans. We don't like Ole Miss very much. Just be careful with that, all right?
I mean, I'm just saying, free school is free school.
No, 100%, dude. We're just messing with you, man.
I tell you what, Donovan, if you end up at Ole Miss or wherever you end up, and I get a chance to go watch you play, I'll fly your school colors no matter what.
100%. We're making a little care package. We're going to be mailing you some stuff. We got some shirts for you, and we got some swag for you. We're going to be getting that your way. Look, I mean this. If you need anything, we got some ties to some schools out here in the South. If you need a good word from anybody, you got a bunch of coaches down here that would definitely vouch for you. Okay, bro?
For sure. I appreciate that.
Hey, what size shoes you in? I'm going to send you some gold shoes as well in that package.
I'm size 11.
All right.
There we go. Hey, D, appreciate you, man. Take care. It's super good hearing from you, buddy.
Yeah, you guys stay blessed.
Yeah.
Too, Donovan.
That just made my day hearing from old Donovan Hines. Donovan played biddy with us whenever they were. Yeah, that was probably about 7-8 years ago now. Coast Guard boy. Dude. Damien and I, like, we're the big fun chocks. We think we know everybody, and we think we got the best team possible drafted. We show up to the first day of this season, see this little boy from Grand Isle, Donovan Hines, wearing these gold shoes, just killing it. And I'm like, who the hell is this? And we whiffed here. We got to get this dude.
So just a quick backstory on that call. A couple weeks ago, Nick Casey and I always talk about our old days coaching together. And that was a kid that really, really got a piece of our heart. His mom was in the Coast Guard. They travel all over the country. Obviously, just hear him say that. They did a stint in Grand Isle, and he came up the Bayou to play basketball. He ended up making the all-star team, and it was a really special team. And he was a big part of that team, and he was just a great kid. And I think maybe a couple weeks later, he was moving on to San Diego, and we probably stayed in that locker room for 30 minutes. The parents were probably pissed at us. But he had everybody in the locker room crying, and it was something that I as an adult, that I'll never, ever forget. Special kid. And I'm pumped up, man. So him and I were talking a little bit. And he said, what do you think if I go on and surprise Coach Casey? If awesome. I call in? I'm like, dude, here's my number. And as Tommy was talking, I wasn't paying attention to him. I texted him. I said, hey, we on probably for the next 45 minutes. He said, good, I'm free. I'm going to call now. I was like,
that's
you ready,
legit.
Bro?
Happy birthday to me. That's awesome. That's wonderful. And look, as an 8-year-old boy, he had the bravery to get up in front of his teammates at the end of the All-Star season and say, I've been moving all over the place my whole life. This is the only place I've ever felt like I've had a family. At that point, yeah, I'm with you for the rest of your life, dude. So, yeah, we're rooting for Donovan. I was giving him crap about Ole Miss. If he goes to Ole Miss, I will wear the red and the blue.
Maybe blue.
Whatever color. Lane Kiffin puts on him, I'm wearing it. And we wish him nothing but the best. Great kid doing great things out there in California.
That's the reason that you coach. Now I'm lucky enough to be with my family because my kid plays with me. But before, I was investing a lot of time. People were giving me a lot of crap. What are you doing? That's the reason that you do that, to be able to connect and make an impression on the youth and hopefully do something positive for him. And the fact that he's 17, 18 years old now, calling in and
he still remembers us. Yeah, he still knows. We all gave him a signed basketball before they moved, and he still got it. It's in his room. He took a picture now as an adult. He still knows and looks very fondly back on his time on the Bayou. And whoo-wee, BJ, I wish we had him here because that would be a wide receiver. That'd be a small forward. That'd be an animal. That'd be legit. We want to thank everybody for listening to today's show. It was an awesome show. We covered a lot of different topics. We got off the rails, but that's the beauty of it. That's what we do. We will be live again next Wednesday, and we're going to drop in over the weekend sometimes, and we're going to be popping up all over the place throughout this summer. So keep it on the group chat. For Nick and Jacob and Damien and Tommy, this is Casey signing off. Thanks so much for listening. It's been the Group Chat Podcast.
Oh, I agree.